So, presentation number 2. How to survive on Twitch, Twitch etiquette, and creating a healthy community. So, I started streaming September 2018 and currently stream full-time in addition to freelancing commissions and working for the Newell. I've grown my stream on Twitch alone, so my only platform, from 3 concurrent users to over 100 over the course of 3 years, and I developed a busy community on both Twitch and Discord. So in this session, I'm going to cover Twitch etiquette so that you can see the most success on the platform as possible. Some of the things I talk about might be obvious to you, but not everyone has enough experience to be able to recognize these behaviors as problems, so I'm going to cover them. This is going to range from interacting with viewers as a streamer to interacting with other streamers as both a streamer and a viewer. So, to grow on Twitch, you have 2 options. You either have to pull in viewers from Twitch's platform, or you have to find viewers from other platforms to bring to Twitch. So first I'm going to cover using other platforms. So when looking to other platforms, I recommend YouTube and TikTok as the most accessible. So I personally don't do these, but I have some friends who are successful in both. So I asked a couple of them for their main takeaways when growing on those platforms. So for YouTube, I asked my friend Unibuna, and he said that nowadays the algorithm looks for quality over quantity for YouTube videos. It values your click-through rate, so how many people see this on their timeline. So you want to make sure that you've got a nice thumbnail. And something he said to me that I thought was really useful is that each thumbnail needs to tell a story in the thumbnail. So you want to make people curious when they look at it and be like, oh, what's this about? The algorithm favors watch time, so how long they stay watching each video. So your attention needs to be good, it needs to be interesting. And then lastly, interaction. So likes, dislikes on the video, comments, how much they pause, how much they go back, all of that is interaction and will factor into the algorithm. I also spoke to my friend Dowsy, who said that in addition to the above, tags are useful when you're starting out because they assist the algorithm in finding people to watch your videos. So there's this Chrome extension, VDEC, I think? VDEC, maybe? Which is linked in the resources section, but it helps generate useful tags, so you can use that when you're starting off on YouTube. Okay, for TikTok, I asked Lee, who... and he's even bigger than this now, but he makes Valorant content, so some of you may know him. But he said to me that any interactions with a TikTok promotes it into the algorithm, so sharing the TikTok, tagging your friends, comments, and also likes on the comments. So if he sees a funny comment, he'll pin it so that people scroll through the comments and they'll like the comment as well, and so that all assists the algorithm in recommending his videos to others. And he said regarding thumbnails, they're not as important on TikTok because you don't see them when they scroll through. When you scroll through your For You page, you don't see the thumbnail, but he'll still keep the thumbnails neat on his videos so that when people come to his page directly, they aren't put off. Okay, so networking on Twitch. So discovery on Twitch is pretty non-existent. The recommendation section won't pick you up unless you have a lot of viewers in common with other streamers. So to grow your stream on Twitch, you need to network with other streamers, which will lead to raids or hosts that you need to be able to retain. Okay, streamer etiquette. I feel like networking is a deceptive term because it reads like a business negotiation. But if you approach networking like a business deal when you aren't already established as a brand and business, then it won't have any long-term benefits. It's better to actively engage in streams that you enjoy and want to emulate and make genuine connections with the streamer and their community. I recently received this networking email, and whilst aspects of it are okay, there are lots of things that rubbed me the wrong way. So if we just read through it. Says, hello, I'm a small streamer with 2k followers. The community you've made on Twitch is very positive and sweet. The fact that we both have the game League of Legends in common is great. I want to introduce my community to yours by playing League together on my stream sometime. My Twitch is this. I was hoping you would accept this because it would be an advantage to both of us. If you accept this, I will make sure to constantly raid you and support you by hosting. And then their contact details. So to me, this comes across like they've all sent the same identical email to many people in the hopes that someone responds. And when looking for collaboration, I need to know that this is a person that I would enjoy being friends with and playing games with, but I don't get any information about that from this email, so I'm not inclined to accept. I've included this email as an example of how easy it is to go about things the wrong way. So I rewrote it. If I was to do the same thing, but I personally wouldn't send an email like this. Consistent raids from smaller streamers are always appreciated, but aren't going to be a large factor for growth for the channel for either of us, even if I raided them back. The main draw for asking to collaborate should be the actual content being produced. So if I was going to write this email to someone, I would first make sure that they know who I am by engaging with their communities, and so I know who they are as well. So we know if we're going to work well together. And as a mid-sized streamer, I don't have much to offer a streamer larger than myself other than my personality. So again, that's the actual content being produced by collaboration is the main thing here for the draw. Sharing your community with theirs through raids and hosts, as well as being active in their communities, is a good start to making friends with another streamer. Even better than writing an email like the previous slide would be to ask naturally after becoming friends. I have a lot of small streamers in my community, and if any of them wanted to play games together, I'd likely accept if I was free. Networking on Twitch is just making friends with other content creators. It's a time investment, as with any relationship, so you need to put in the effort to uphold it. Note that not everybody will reciprocate your efforts, and that's okay. Nobody is obligated to collaborate with anyone. So, inclusivity. This is really important. Different people have different boundaries, so something that you may be comfortable with might scare away somebody else that might otherwise be a good fit for your community. Being mindful of language you use and consider that Twitch is a public platform. If you're serious about growth and reaching a large audience, the rule I would employ is don't say or phrase anything in a way that you wouldn't to your coworker. The more palatable your language usage is, the wider your success will be. In the resources section, I've included a document of offensive language from the Ofcom charity, which outlines the severity of words and their meanings. I would recommend anyone looking to cultivate a friendly community to be familiar with this resource so that they can moderate language like this if it happens to come up. You can also add terms to your block list on Twitch. So, for an example of this, I used to enjoy a Blade and Soul streamer back when the game first came out, but they kept using vulgar language when talking about their opponents. It was very uncomfortable for me as a woman, but also I expect many others would also be uncomfortable with casually threatening the enemy with sexual assault. Eventually I stopped watching, which was a shame because this was the only aspect of their content that I couldn't vibe with. This language is very common in gaming circles, and while it might be acceptable in a closed group, it's going to alienate a public audience. Regarding your content, I've come across smaller streams which have a wonderful tight-knit community, but it was very difficult to actually become part of that community without expending a lot of effort. As a streamer, you want the barrier to entry to be as low as possible, so being inclusive when talking to your viewers is important, as well as encouraging your viewers to be welcoming to others. So, when talking about something specific that happened another time with a viewer, you can give a rundown of what you're talking about, and also when using inside jokes, you can just quickly explain them to potential new viewers so no one feels alienated. Okay, so next section, etiquette as a viewer, behaviors to avoid, and how to help your streamer. So behaviors to avoid, talking about other streamers in the streamer's channel, talking about streamer's viewer count, backseating the content, rude observations, and making the stream about yourself. I've seen all of these happen in other people's chats. in the past few days, so this is very fresh in my mind. Streamers aren't always comfortable expressing discomfort, as people are generally. Sometimes they haven't encountered a situation before and they won't know how to handle it, and we can help as viewers by avoiding creating uncomfortable situations for them in the first place. And these are 5 common negative behaviors that I've observed a lot. So firstly, talking about the viewer count. Many streamers, myself included, don't look at the viewer count when streaming. I recommend to anyone streaming to turn it off, because worrying about your numbers does no one any good. However, every so often, viewers feel the need to point out how many people are watching. Perhaps it's, haha, 69, funny number, or perhaps it was intended to be a show of encouragement, but regardless, this is only going to result in the following outcomes. So the streamer might not see your comment, the streamer might be distracted by your comment, and then the 2 bad outcomes is that you make the streamer worry. So I was privileged enough to make it onto the front page of Twitch before, and so my view count jumped up to 2k viewers at one point, and some people in my chat started freaking out, which made me nervous, and I ended up faltering at the start of my segment, which was really bad. So that's an example of why you shouldn't point out viewer count. It's very common for streamers to have a rule against pointing out the viewer count for the above reasons. I have my bot purge any message that says a number and the word viewers, and then it directs the person who said it to the rules. So you can do this too in your channel if you have a bot. Okay, next, talking about other streamers. So this is awkward for both the person streaming and for the person whose stream is being talked about. If one of my viewers went into another person's channel to advertise my Twitch or ask them to raid me, I'd personally be mortified. In the past year, one of my friends blew up on YouTube, Polypuff, which propelled his stream from 20-ish CCU to about 500 at the time. He mods a lot for well-known League streamers, including Fevy Knight and LS, and when he first started getting popular, lots of his newer YouTube viewers started going into Fevy Knight's chat just to talk to him or ask when he was streaming next, or talking about his latest video, and they weren't actually there to watch Fevy Knight's stream. And Fevy is great friends with Polly. He edits for her and mods for her, but this still ended up upsetting her a lot, because it's not nice to feel like viewers aren't there because they want to watch you, and this problem got so out of hand that on one of her streams she just ended it early, which apparently she never does. Polly was upset, Fevy was upset, and Polly ended up dedicating his next stream to introducing himself properly and giving a rundown on Twitch etiquette so that his community wouldn't upset his friends again. My community is close to another streamer's community, but sometimes people will come into my channel and refer to me as my friend's twin, or refer to our mutual viewers as my friend's community, and this is quite disrespectful to the both of us, as it shows that they don't value each of us as individuals. Next, backseating/spoilers. I've noticed that newer viewers to Twitch often don't check the tags in a stream before commenting, nor do they read the pop-up rules that they have to accept to speak in chat. This happens so often. The first line in my pop-up rules is please no backseating/spoilers, and still people's first messages will be backseating or spoilers. I've been in the uncomfortable situation where I've gently reminded a new person not to backseat, and they've accused me of having an ego. Regardless of whether the information that they're offering is correct, a line needs to be drawn, otherwise there are people who will negatively comment on every single decision you make as a streamer if you do not do things the way that they want you to do. Sometimes I'll be stuck on a puzzle and say my thought process out loud, which is very normal for a streamer. You need to comment what you're thinking. And numerous times, new viewers have immediately spoiled the puzzle thinking that I was asking for help, whereas in reality, there's nothing else to say about this section, I'm just commentating. Rude observations. You look/sound tired/sick. You should go to sleep. So lots of viewers don't trust the streamer to have agency over themselves. I don't know if any of you were watching Iron Mouse's subathon recently, but she had a message that would run constantly by her bot that said, Iron Mouse is an adult. She sleeps when she needs to sleep. You do not need to tell her when to sleep, or something like that. And I found that quite funny that she needed to have a message like that, because apparently this isn't widespreadly known enough to not say this stuff. And this point isn't necessarily a stream-specific one. It happens in real life too. One of my husband's friends didn't wear makeup to work once, and her team leader asked, "What's wrong with your face?" And he was ripped into by their mutual friends for being horribly rude. But my point is that he still felt it was appropriate to say this, even in the context of friendship. A better way to express the same sentiment without overstepping would be, "How are you feeling today?" Or "How long are you going to stream for?" You still get the same information from the streamer without being rude to them. Making the stream about yourself. Oh boy, I saw this happen yesterday. It was really uncomfortable. Somebody went on a rant in this girl's channel about, "Oh, how come I always make the streamer hate me? Other viewers seem to hate me no matter what I say." What? What? Why are you making this the streamer's problem? Go talk to your friends about this. What? Asking the streamer to play a certain game, watch a clip, or listen to a song, unless they have explicitly said that they're okay with this, consider that this puts the streamer in an uncomfortable position where they have to decline, which opens them up to potential rude comments, or they have to put their content on hold to entertain a specific viewer. You've had to manage this one? I'm sorry, Limester. I understand. I have a lot of sympathy for you, for your situation. Yeah, I get it completely. If you've experienced these behaviors and have found that they've made you uncomfortable, it's entirely okay to set boundaries, time people out, and ban them. Smaller channels are more prone to having people come in and talking about bad mental health problems. To combat this, what you can do is have a command that links to help hotlines in various countries, express that you're not qualified to deal with it, and tell them to seek out a doctor or to call one of the numbers listed. I'll personally say that I don't think the topic is appropriate for stream and ask them to speak to somebody more qualified about it. You don't need to deal with this. As a streamer, it's not your job. Newer streamers are sometimes hesitant to ban viewers because they don't want their numbers to go down, but speaking from the perspective of someone who's been through this exact scenario and grown past it, these viewers are going to be a barrier to entry to other viewers. If the community isn't appealing, then people who might be a better fit for you and your community may be put off from interacting. I personally am very shy and have bad anxiety towards crowds, so I don't type in Twitch chats unless the streamer has shown me that themselves and their communities are kind and don't tolerate bullies. Ways that you can help your streamer. Engage with and welcome newcomers, include the rest of chat when speaking about a subject, politely discourage uncomfortable conversations, host them. So, as a viewer, if you want to help your smaller streamer succeed, there's a lot of easy ways you can do so by making the chat an interesting place to be. Some streamers might want the focus to stay on their content and will discourage interactions between viewers, so make sure you read the vibe to see if this is a social community or not. Engaging with newcomers, asking them how they're doing, saying hello, can all help encourage, this is as a viewer, can all help encourage that person to stick around and start talking. As a shy Twitch viewer, knowing that a community is welcoming often encourages me to come back and talk more. Sometimes you might want to speak to the streamer about something specific. You can make this more appropriate for stream by including context when you speak. For example, instead of saying, "I just lost my last 5 ranked games," you can say, "My ranked games have been going really badly. How are everyone else's going?" It's not a very good example, but you know what I mean. Sometimes a new person will say something inconsiderate or continuously badger me about something. If you feel like your streamer and other viewers might be uncomfortable, you can help shut it down by politely discouraging it. This is if the mods aren't doing anything. As a streamer, it helps me know I'm making the right decision to shut something down if my community members are also vocal about shutting down uncomfortable behavior. But you have to be really careful when you do this. You don't want to be hostile. And you don't want to be angry while it's hostile. You don't want to jump on this person and attack them. You don't want to make the environment negative. Because I feel like that's even more awkward if people start slinging insults towards someone who might have overstepped. You've then turned it into a big thing instead of just politely discouraging them and then moving on to another topic. So one of my friends kept being asked to watch a clip recently, and she chose not to interact with the person asking. So I decided to make it clearer to the viewer by saying to them that she would watch the clip if she felt like it, but we shouldn't pressure her into it. And I think that helped because they stopped after that. And lastly, you can host your streamers or put them on your auto host list to help the algorithm recommend them to more people. Bye, Alec. Thank you for being here. Okay, closing notes. Always be diplomatic. Know and set and enforce your boundaries. It will pay off. De-escalate conflict where possible. Do not draw attention to it. I already said this, but I'm going to say it again. Daily, I get comments from viewers saying how our community is the most wholesome on Twitch or feels like an incredibly safe space. This is because streaming gave me the confidence to speak my mind and tell somebody if they're being inappropriate. Usually that person's behavior will change, or they'll react badly and show themselves out through a ban or otherwise. When moderating your channel, try to be as diplomatic as possible. Don't insult the person even if they were rude first. Explain why what they said was wrong and leave it at that. It's entirely too easy for the rest of chat to jump on the offender as a show of support for the streamer, but I would recommend discouraging this too for the sake of everybody's general mood and the vibe in stream. Be the bigger person where possible. This is how I personally handle things, and I've had a lot of practice doing so forgive yourself if you don't handle an interaction 100% perfectly. As long as you're working towards creating a positive environment, then viewers will stay, respect you more, and you'll have a good time. Twitch's discovery is so bad that... Oh, I already said this. Let me know if you stream, I'll raid you! Resources! Thank you for watching.